Just wanted to bring attention to this article by Michael Warner. Michael Warner is a award-winning sports journalist here in Australia, and he's written, I think, a really good article about the AFL's hypocrisy in regards to pushing a lot of the woke stuff that they have pushed for a number of years now. Um, they're really probably the wokest major sporting organisation in the country, and I think it's a really good article, and he needs to be praised for it. If you look at some of the stuff he's written here, only the permanently outraged would have taken offence when an AFL umpire attended a private post-season characters of the 2000 party in an Osama mask, and I think that's probably true. I mean, at the end of the day, by bringing attention to something that was in a private party, you're letting millions of people know, and if you had not said anything, then only the people that would know would be the 2 dozen people that were there. So you're actually not doing your cause any good by bringing attention to it. You're just really virtue signaling how good and better you are. Um, and this is really what I think Michael's getting at. I think this is why most people don't like this, this woke stuff. Predictably here it triggered an investigation and a one-match suspension at AFL HQ, where the game's administrators have tied themselves in knots, conforming to the era of identity politics, moral grandstanding, and radical left ideology. But recent world events and last year's failed voice referendum reflect how a growing majority have had enough of progressive lectures and the rise of divisive social agendas and their endless demands. I think this is very true. And if you look at what's happening in the United States as well, Bud Light lost a couple of $billion by pushing, radical sort of trans stuff, which is just not necessary. All people really want to do is drink beer. You see here in Australia, Woolworths coming under criticism for not selling Australia Day stuff, and even a couple of days ago, that group of pubs was coming under criticism for not celebrating Australia Day, and then of course, still taking an Australia Day surcharge. And people don't like this stuff, and it's coming to an end. If you look at what's happening in the United States as well, they're getting rid of a lot of companies are getting rid of their DEI departments. That's diversity, equity, and inclusion, and they're just hiring people based on merit, which is what they should have been doing all along. And I think the AFL and a lot of the institutions here, they're a couple of years behind. The public have been onto this for a little while now. The public have not liked this for a number of years, and they just want to go to a sporting match to watch sport. They don't really want to be preached to. And as usual, the institutions tend to be a couple of years behind, still sort of pushing this stuff like it's 2019. But this stuff is going. I think whatever your political persuasion, I think most people don't like it. I think everyone on the right doesn't like it, and I think most people on the moderate left don't like it either. But maybe they're just too afraid to speak out because you've got these hardcore, radicals that are pushing this sort of stuff. So I think this is a really good article by Michael. Just scrolling through it now, you can have a bit of a read as I'm talking. But so it takes a bit of courage to write this sort of stuff. It would have been better if he read it a couple of years ago, but he still needs to be called out in a good way for writing this. I think he deserves some praise. Calling out the gambling as well. You can criticise gambling, but then they take all the gambling money. And on and on and on. So I think this is a really good good article by Michael. It's always interesting to look at the comments on this sort of thing, because I always scroll down and have a bit of a look. There's about 600 comments, and pretty much all of them are in support of what he's saying. People just want to, go to the football, and I think that's true. And look, I'm not saying that you need to get rid of every welcome to country. I think there's probably room to have one at the grand final, but you don't need one at every single finals match. I know the NRL, I think the NRL had one at the grand final, welcome to country, but they didn't have one for every finals match. And we saw the AFL, I think they had the one that was in the GWS final was essentially hijacked by the elder there, and he went on about BC meaning before Cook and all this sort of stuff. And with them, well, we just want to watch football. We don't need to be preached to. So, and I think you can see there the Swans with their pride, jumper. This is not really necessary. This stuff. especially in Australia where we've had equal rights for a long time. We don't really need to push this stuff, and people don't like it. We saw what happened with the Manly in the NRL, where a lot of players, for religious reasons, whether you agree with them or not, they're entitled to their opinion. For religious reasons, didn't support gay marriage and that sort of thing, and they didn't play for their club that weekend. So I don't think I think this stuff is pretty much dead amongst the way the woke stuff is pretty much dead away among the way the public are thinking, and it's just these institutions that are still holding onto it and pushing it. Um, and hopefully, it's only a matter of time before some of it goes. Because really, when I go to the football, and I think hopefully most of you are the same, all you really want to do is just watch your football team. You don't really want to be preached to with some of this stuff. There's some good stuff. I mean, the fight for MMD is fantastic. No one would disagree with that. That's not woke at all. That's just wanting to rid the world of a disease. But you don't really need to be pushing every single social issue, especially in a country like ours where you can't get much fairer than what we have here. So, in my view, anyway. So yeah, just a shout out to Michael. I think it's a really, really good article. You can have a bit of a read of it, and I think he deserves some praise for it. So, what do you think? Let me know, and have a great day.